Okay, well, welcome everyone. This is Greg and Whitney's weekly coaching gym call. And we love to get together with you guys and keep you up to speed on all the new things that are happening, especially coming off of Sundance. And we're really excited tonight because we have two special guest speakers, two of my favorite people in Take Shape for Life, Brad and Ashley Miller, presidential directors. And, not only do they come from a very strong DNA within the TSFL family, the Miller clan, they are two wonderful, wonderful people on their own. And they've done so much to contribute to the whole company with their energy and enthusiasm. And I got to say, Brad and Ashley, both of you guys, as young as you are, you've always impressed me with your emotional intelligence and how you just have a way of finding the silver lining when challenges occur. You don't let it slow you down. You don't let it get you off track. You stand there firm and grounded as leaders, and you move forward. And not only do you do that, if you've got incredible genetics and resilience, you guys also are so fun and so easy to get along with. And when we're in meetings or when we're just having fun and chilling, you guys are always just so upbeat. And I got to say that's got to be a part of why you're so successful in the business. But I don't want to take up any more time. But Whitney, I know you'd love to say a few words about our guests tonight, and then we're going to turn it over to you guys to share how to move from manager to executive director and beyond. And Brad and I have been kind of brainstorming on this for a while, and I just can't wait for you guys to see this. So Whitney, would you like to say a few words and then hand it off to Brad and Ash?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's exciting when we have young people who really get what we're doing and are able to help so many people and lead by example. And, you all know the pay plan. So to have Brad and Ashley have not only helped so many people, but really developed a team. I mean, they've led. And I think that what they teach, whenever I've seen either one of them on stage or whenever I've seen them, communicating, I agree with what Greg said. Not only do they have high emotional intelligence, but they really get this business. They really understand how to make it work. It's like a fun game to them, it seems like. They're really good at playing it. So I think we're going to learn a lot. I'm excited. I got my notebook out. I'm ready to go. And I want to turn it over, and I'm going to put myself on mute. Okay, Greg?
Thanks, Whitney. And Brad, it's all yours, so have fun. And Ashley, we're so grateful that you could make it. I know you're coming down the home stretch with your pregnancy. So thanks for being on with us tonight. Everyone loves to hear your voice.
Thank you guys so much. Are you there, Brad?
I'm here. Yeah, I'll get started. Yes. And I do like that Whitney finished it off with that because it is a game. It's the smiley face game. And that's actually a lot what we're talking about here tonight is this particular meeting is about talking about the path from going from a manager, associate director type business to ED and kind of painting the picture beyond there. And I always like to say, people ask me, well, I do play fantasy football now, but do you play fantasy football? Do you play online games? No, I play to get a lot of people and get smiley faces games. So I like to do that. And I like to help a lot of people win that game. So the one thing we work with a lot of people on at the manager, associate director level is it's really a fun point in your business. You're probably pretty new. You're enjoying the fact of your health journey. You're enjoying getting other people healthy. And usually the path going beyond that is usually when people see and identify their next place where they want to go. So I put a little roadmap here because one, that's the key fundamental at this stage in your business. And then also I put just kind of a diagram that Dan Bell puts up here, which is the way our business works. Is you can come in and over time, build a large business of people that generate a lot of people getting healthy. You can come in right away, help people yourself, make a great income, and then, but you can only help so many people. And then over time, what's possible is beyond, which is kind of the topic of this call, which we'll get more on the front end stuff, but painting the picture of what's beyond. So I threw up some rough numbers, and this is kind of close based off the income disclosure statement, but they are rough numbers. They're not our official numbers, so I just want to point that out. But I wanted to kind of paint a picture for you because when Ashley and I understood how this business works and have shown people this path, that's when they really get it. So let's say you're at that manager, associate director level. That means you're somewhere between, you're supporting somewhere between 8 and 13 clients somewhere there, depending on where you're at. The rough income you can see right there, it's either between $700-ish $1,000. And also, the very additional great thing there is your rolling bonus you're qualified for at this level. So if you continue to support clients at this rate, you're going to get a rolling bonus every 3 months. And I love when that rolling bonus comes in for getting people healthy. It's very nice and fun. But I want to show you guys at that level, you're making about, you're getting a pretty big, good, income for supporting people to get healthy, but it can grow pretty proficiently if you focus and set yourselves up. So looking at what you can do is you can move that to an executive director. Say you're sitting at associate director level. For literally doing less than double the work, you're going to get paid double. So your rough income is going to be close to about $2,000, and then your rolling bonus every 3 months for being over $6,000 is going to be $1,000 bonus. So it's like, wow, like look at that big difference. Why would I not focus my attention on helping more people? And we'll get to a little bit of that here in a second. But then the beyond that Greg and I were kind of setting up on this call is, as you continue to progress, as you continue to do the grassroots fundamentals that we do day in, day out, your business is going to grow and you'll support more clients. And then there's a duplication factor. So over time, you can bring on partners that will duplicate what you're doing, anywhere from a senior coach to beyond level. But the next level is a regional, where you yourself are executive director and you're helping another executive director, and then maybe even as many as 5 senior coaches. That's what FIBC means. And so about 30, 35 clients, just roughly. I just threw it in there because it depends on your particular goals, but that's a good pace to be at that level. And then your income somewhere around $5,000. And what's cool there is at the FIBC level, you get $2,000 bonus. You get your client rolling bonus, and you get a fully integrated business coach bonus. That means more often than not, you're getting $1,000 bonus each month. So it kind of jumps up there, and then you continue the path and duplicate yourself. Then you're moving up to a national FIBC level, which is 3 executive director teams that you're coaching, a good amount of clients. Your income's growing pretty significantly, and you're still getting those $1,000. And then obviously beyond it, by looking at the income disclosure statement, you can see the average global director makes somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000 a month, which we can go there. But that's the beyond that I want to paint that picture of. If you follow the basics, you can see that the progression is right there. And when you see a goal, you can actually go after it. So let's talk about it. You have a manager and associate director business right now, which I know many of you guys on the line, that's kind of where you're sitting right now. And I have to say, full on, congrats. That means you've gotten out, you shared with people, you know the basics. And I have to say, a lot of people at that manager level sit there saying, oh, well, I think I know what I'm doing, but I'm not really sure. If you can share health, you just need to keep doing what you're doing. And we're going to talk about some of those areas that do that. So I just want to say, one, congratulations. You are a health coach extraordinaire. Where the next part is, where the rubber meets the road, I put a structural tension chart here on the right. It's focusing on your reality to what's going to get you to where you want to go on the trajectory that I was showing you earlier. So actually, I'm going to turn this first part over to, it starts with you, to my beautiful wife, Ashley Miller.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, yes, as we were going through this PowerPoint, I actually didn't have this slide in here. And I thought, oh my gosh, what a huge disservice if I don't talk about this, because really all the other things that we talk about, I feel like you do not get the full bang for your buck if we don't start here. So your own personal healthy example. Right now, we have a lot of new health coach candidates that are looking at becoming health coaches, especially through the Meltdown Challenge. And one of the things that we hear so often is like, well, do you think I should wait and get my scholarship later, or should I start now? What if people, aren't trusting that I know what I'm talking about because I haven't lost all my weight? The fact that you're even on the health journey, that you are getting healthier, is what's attractive. It's not about being at your destination, because in all reality, anybody who's at their destination they thought they'd be at, they're still working towards more healthy goals. So it's not like you arrive at some magical place and stay stagnant. You're either going forward or you're going backwards. So in the big scheme of things, when you're looking at this, is really assess, what are you doing for your own personal health? And that's what radiates out into the world of what people are inspired by. So through that, you're inspiring others. You'll, of course, everyone talks about what they're excited about. And If you are really excited about anything from how good the gingerbread soft bake is to, reaching some new health platform or something, that's what you're going to be talking about with people. The confidence that comes with the congruency. And when Brad and I became coaches over 5 years ago, the advice we were given, this was eat the food and talk to the people. And I thought, are you serious? Like, that's all you're giving me? But seriously, I had no idea the power of being seen with that food. So publicly eating the food and talking to people, and people will talk to you. Another line you may have heard, or maybe it's the first time you're hearing it, is you'll often find that when your waistline is shrinking, your business is growing. So if you feel like there could be a missing link, check, get real with yourself, check and see, how am I doing in this area? If I don't feel super confident or like I can talk to people, I'm going to call my health coach and I'm going to ask them, hey, you know what, or I'm going to not just ask them, but tell them, hey, this is my next health goal. Help me stay accountable. This is what we're doing, because I know, of course, it's great for my personal health. It's great for my family, but it's going to be great for my business too.
That is so true, Ashley. One of the things I've noticed is now that we started the Meltdown Challenge, the Thin It to Win It, and even when we've done any other challenges in the past, when the coaches get on the program for themselves, they get so reinvigorated that natural energy just spreads outward. So you're right on the button there. I love that one. When your waistline is shrinking, your business is growing. Love it.
It's so true. It all goes back to, I'm going to turn my light on real quick. It all does. If you're excited, it just naturally comes out. So, it's very attractive to the outside world.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great stuff, Ashley. And it's really the basics. That is literally the advice we got. So we got it from David and Terry Miller, and we got it from Brian Drollinger, and that's what we did. So as we get into kind of the fundamentals of taking your business to the next level, from what we're talking about, is we want to talk about systems checked. And this is actually something where if you're an analytical, you can get caught up in doing a lot of work on this. And I highly suggest that it's just something to keep in mind, make the adjustment, so then you can take more action in this area. So going pro, it means, is your file folder system set up? So again, I've heard Greg and Whitney say this, and it's so impressive that they run a multi-million-dollar organization from paper, and it's so impressive, and it is duplicatable. That's the key of it. But when you have your file folder system set up, you're more apt to be able to pull it out, support the clients, make notes. Don't keep it in your head, because here's the one example I have for it is we did try to keep it in our head when we got started. And then when I came home from working full time, we actually doubled our frontline volume in less than 3 months by literally getting everything down on paper and getting organized. So take a second, in the next little bit, if you're trying to go pro over the next few months, don't take a whole week to, make it look pretty, because your file folder is not going to get anyone healthy. But, having it set up where you can run, grab one, be ready to share, you got it on you, you're ready to go mobile. It's really a key factor. It gives you confidence, and it sets you up to run your business from everywhere.
Can I say one thing about that, Brad?
Yeah, please do.
One of the things that we've been talking about, Dr. A's been focusing on creating a system, an integrated system, and we are working on it. And we know the steps. We know the path. There's really no major changes to how we do what we do. But we also know that we don't have one login. We have 15 logins. We don't have one, system that is universal, that integrates with everything. The only thing that we do have that is universal, standalone, and comprehensive from before you even start to the highest level you can reach as an integrated health professional or a teleologist is our folder system. It is the backbone. It is the spine of this business. Everything goes from that outwards to the muscles, to the circulatory system, everything. This is the spine of our business. You cannot afford not to know it if you want to be a pro. And if you have another way that you do it yourself, let's say maybe you use electronic tracking or something like that, that's not a problem. But what's key is the steps and the flow is on the folder system. And you need to know that folder system inside and out, because that's what your coaches are going to have to learn. Would you agree?
I would 100% concur. Our mind works different ways, but knowing the duplication factor and what's taught is very key. The next part is setting up a client celebration day. And actually, Greg is going, part of the collaboration that we're doing, he's going to do a time management class next week. And a client celebration day is super key because when you manage your time and you have everything set up, you're much more set up to actually run your business, to take action. Because if you're not set up with an underlying structure, everything becomes something that you're going to do the next day and the next day, because guess what? We're always going to be busy. So setting up that client celebration day is a structure for you to touch base with your clients, which we'll get to in a little bit there, but also set up the other fundamentals of your schedule. And then also having a pre-client list and a follow-up list, something that's ongoing, that one, because there's a mental shift that happens when you put names on paper and you actually look at them. You're actually more apt to actually focus and share and connect. And then also the key to that is having it in a way that you can set up. You go out, you talk to someone that day, you add to your list so you don't forget. Trying to keep it up in your head, you'll forget. And actually, it's really funny that, at this level, with managers, associate directors, they try to start to do that, and then they feel like they've maxed out their sphere of influence, and they don't see all the people around them that can just change if they kind of set up that system. So these are some of the simple systems that we encourage people to get kind of set up. It's the fundamentals of your business. Greg, did you want to say anything to that?
Nope. Perfect.
Perfect. So let's move into getting your connections up, which is the multiplying effect and going pro. So a lot of people, like I was actually just kind of alluding to, is when you hit that manager, associate director level, it's kind of where you're like, it's a mind shift, because now instead of not having any clients, you do have clients. So it's really important to have your system set up, because really, if you're going to grow this business and expand and go beyond, you got to be able to take those clients, put them on a road to health, and then segment, compartmentalize that and move on to continue sharing. That's when this level is where you really want to kick it into gear, because there's a few fundamental things that are happening. Is one, people are noticing your client success, which means that the people that you're talking to are seeing your other client success. So it's more than just you talking to them now. They're knowing that other people are joining in with you. And yes, there are a lot of laggards that hold out. I was a holdout for like 5 or 6 years, I think, total now. So I just kept getting bigger and bigger. So that's one thing. The other thing is successful clients have referrals. So if you're connecting with them and supporting them and keeping an eye to remember referrals, the biggest thing I recommend that people are at this stage when they're creating referrals is write down referrals in a big caps right when you're calling all your clients, because that'll make sure it's not like you're going to say, hey, give me a referral, Greg, but you're going to be looking for that conversation to happen of who's noticing, who is talking to them. I don't know if any of you guys have noticed from the Meltdown Challenge, but almost every single person is saying, yes, I have someone that I want to refer to my health coach. And I bet you, if you caught yourself, you probably weren't thinking that those people had referrals for you. So their world is huge, and you just got to be the facilitator and connecting to. And if you provide good service and you're fun to interact with, people will refer people to you. And then also there's brand awareness for yourself, which means you've been staying consistent. You've been moving your business forward. You're staying on your health journey. You're talking with people, and it shows in the people around you. So you're putting stuff on Facebook. You're making the points to connect with people. You're staying consistent. Has anyone truthfully ever been at that point where they know someone did something, or they didn't know if they were going to continue doing it, or you thought it was just going to be for a season, and then it's like, yep, all right, yeah, I knew that wasn't going to last very long. But if you stay consistent, you have staying power, and that means the longer you stay with it and the bolder you get, the more of an impact you make. It's brand awareness. And then also you have health coach candidates growing, because the more people are watching you, the more people want to join in on what you're doing, the more clients you have getting healthy, the further they're getting closer to become coaches. So never forget in your back pocket that you're actually creating little duplicators just like yourself. So some numbers to remember at this level right now when we're talking about kicking it into gear is the magic of the 5 and 1. And these are just rough numbers. Of course, you can't take these to the bank, but these are the numbers that we see that are run pretty consistently. So for every 5 people you talk to, 1 will sign up. So set your mind open to be able to share largely. And I'll get to that point in a second. I'll show you something here, just one quick moment. For every 5 times you follow up, 1 person will probably get started. So remember, it's not just a one and done. You have to make sure these people stay on your list and you come back to them. I'm sure if we took a poll of the people on this line, most people would say it took them multiple times to a follow-up or touches to actually get started on programs. So it's all about being present. It's usually the actual number is 5 to 12 follow-ups needed to help someone get started. Those are rough numbers. It's just as far as connecting with people. And then for every 5 clients, you probably have one that will become a coach. So remembering that number, that it's not just clients. And if you memorize that you are looking for it, that 1 in 5 of your clients will actually are looking for that need if you're prepared for it, because the beyond is the foundation you lay to build the duplication factor of your team. So, and then obviously those are the numbers. And if you want to move faster, double and triple those numbers. I love that Jamil, new presidential director, I think his thing was that he just talked to 10 people a day. That's literally what he did. And then we have a fast mover on our team named Denise, and they're in the same area. And she goes, well, I'm going to talk to 15. And he goes, well, great. I'll move even faster, and I'll talk to 20. And that's literally all it takes, is being consistent. My grandpa in this business is a national director, and I asked him what his key is, because, I love my grandpa, but he's, he doesn't connect with people very much. He's got kind of a closed circle of influence. And I said, how are you able to grow a national director business? And he goes, Brad, I did 10 things a day to move my business forward. It wasn't magic. It was consistency. So you can move, you can do more impactful things, or, less impactful things based on your comfort factor. But the more impact you make and the more people you touch, the more you're going to stay consistent and build that brand and connect with more people. So at this level is when most people say, and, don't, I know we have a lot of, that associate manager level people on our team, but you're thinking, I don't know who the next person I'm going to get healthy is. I've talked to everybody. And that's really not true at all. And this is actually where you need to expand your mind to grow to that next level, is moving yourself to do 10 things a day to move your business forward, to touch your business 10 different times and make 10 different connections a day. It can be small. It can be a like on Facebook. It can be handing out a card. It could be going out of your way to see a potential client, know someone that is a potential health coach candidate and grabbing coffee with them after work. But really, we all have areas of influence that we spend time in our lives. And usually when people are kind of keeping their mind closed, they don't realize, they only see the people that they see right in front of. But really, we have all these spheres of influence. We have our neighbors, we have Facebook, we have, kids in the schools and they're in, and social groups and the gym and church and coworkers, friends and family, you name it. And then all those people know people that we want to get connected with as well. So really, our initial network of, everyone seems to know about 300 people if you really look at it. And you have to ask yourself, what am I doing to expand in those areas? And then also, do they know what I do so I can be in their world of 300 and so people? So that initial 300 people that can become thousands of people if you are on purpose to expand into it, as well as when you get referrals as well. So when you're making your list and you're thinking big, sharing, make sure your list is expanding and that you're following up with people. And that's a really big key one. How big is your world? Are you on an island? Or are you on the biggest continent in the world? Making sure you're connecting with everybody. See here, looks like, oh, there's the photos. Another thing about coaching this level is make sure you're having fun. This is a fun business, and people want to hang out with people that are having fun. I used to be very clinical about how I did things. And I changed it up a little bit because my darling wife is just so amazing at having fun with people. And I just noticed that people would gravitate to her just based purely on the fact that she was having fun. I have Homer Simpson in the right here as we're duplicating our business and getting referrals and you're connecting with more clients. Mirror their demeanor. Mirroring demeanor is such a huge thing to do. We all have different personality styles. So when you're supporting your clients, make sure that you're just connecting with them, seeing what's important to them, and mirroring their demeanor so you can, resonate with them more. And then I just put the high five people because this is a fun journey and it's a fun thing, movement that we're doing. So make sure that every single day that you're just having fun with it.
Brad, I want to say something because I noticed the same thing. I was the, analytical, explaining all the details, helping them understand. I thought the information was really important. And so I spent a lot of time trying to teach. And I'm sitting here watching Whitney, and she's just fun, cheerleader, jumping up and down, giving high fives, and not going into all the details. And sure enough, people are attracted to her more than they are to the analytical in me. So I totally resonate with what you just said there.
Yeah, and having fun and just talking with people, because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And none of the details really matter when our program can help them create health.
Yep.
Yeah. So then, of course, when you're supporting your clients and building referrals, every week is a chance to progress and build a stronger relationship and trust with your clients. Remember that they're walking around as a billboard, losing weight. People don't do that normally in the world. So it's actually a very rare thing. Remember that, and make sure when you're talking with them that you're creating those connections that will refer people to you and possibly have them duplicate you and become a health coach. And I have this little diagram here that basically shows it. You got you, your client, and their entire world of people you don't even know. And if you are supporting them, that world will connect with your client, and that client will connect them back with you. Remember that they're seeing MetaFast every single day. So remember to talk about Take Shape for Life. Remember to layer them about referrals and knowing the health coaching and bio network, so they know the right things to say to their client. So those clients aren't just going to MetaFast and not getting a health coach and not getting tapped into the bio network.
Can I ask a question there?
Yeah.
Beyond, maybe you're going to talk about this. Are you going to talk about like how you layer getting referrals and maybe a role play of what you would say? I know, of course, in the folder system, that's one of the questions, has people been noticing? And if they say yes to that, that's an easy entry point to talk about referrals. But can you say a couple words on how you would layer the referrals with your clients?
Yeah, actually, Ashley, do you want to jump on and say that? You're really good at that. I could say a few things, but I know it's a natural thing for you. She's unmuting herself.
I unmuted, and then I muted again. For me, that really falls back into the having fun. For instance, like I have this client who just today texted me about, I just saw this friend who hasn't seen me since I started the program, and my friend's down 20 pounds now. And she's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I could just stop it right there. Oh, that's nice. Or I could go deeper, like, oh, what did you say? You know what I mean? Like walking through that. If they're like, well, I'm doing MetaFast, like, oh, how you say it, definitely, it's not like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. It's like, oh, I'm so proud of you that, you're setting such a good example. And I would love to connect with that person if they have any further questions. And definitely when people ask you what you're doing, you can just, if it's easier, you can just tell them that you're working with your health coach. It's a complimentary service for the program that you're following. And would you like my health coach to connect with you and answer your questions? So it's, it's, for me, it's kind of it's not very scripted. It's pretty natural. But I know the end point I'm trying to get to is finding out what are they saying when somebody asks them, and then how can I teach them how to get me connected with them. And that's actually an area that Brad's even, I've watched him become really creative with, is not everyone is super comfortable with giving you a phone number or whatever. And Brad doesn't just stop there. Do you want to talk about that, Brad?
Yeah, Greg, do you want to say anything to all those great tips that Ashley made?
No, but I love that you celebrate them first instead of making them wrong. 9 out of 10 times they will say, I'm on MetaFast. And the tendency is to make them wrong. But if you do that, then you're just kind of pushing them away instead of bringing them in. So I love that you celebrate them first and then say, hey, if it'd be easier, you could say this, and just keep it really light. So I love that.
Absolutely. I mean, I personally know, like, if I feel like such a failure. I don't know. I would never say anything again if somebody like berated me. So, so I'm like, how would I want to be treated? But Brad's really good at giving them the ability to connect via email. And I know we say so often, get the number, which is true and always the first route we try to go. But he's had tremendous success with getting creative on this. So what's your MO, Brad?
Well, one, I like to try to lay referrals a little bit on that first conversation. Before I get off the phone, I'm trying to have a conversation about welcoming you and Take Shape for Life, and that people are going to be noticing their success. So, be aware that you're going to be inspiring people. And when you do, I'd love to help them. Also, there's nothing wrong with asking for people's numbers or their information. You're a professional in this business, and professionals ask for referrals. I learned that lesson from our realtor. That was glare in the face because I had like 2 or 3 people I could refer, and I wasn't even thinking about doing it because I don't know, I'm not naturally that smart to think about that. And then she asked for the referral, and of course I would give her a referral. I love my realtor, and they are great friends of ours, so I made sure to refer. So I got them the information. It wasn't weird because I had the relationship with her. The next down the line thing that you can do is there's always a million ways to connect with people. So for the people that don't want to connect via phone, or maybe, you know, for instance, they're just like, oh, I don't know if I want to hand out that information, I'll say to them, this is my backup plan, because I do want the number. I want them to call me, but I don't want to leave it in that person to just say, hey, I'm going to have them call you. Well, I'll say something along the lines of, well, fantastic. Do you have their email address? Well, send them an email with me attached and give kind of a rough introduction. That way they'll know who I am, and they can get back to me upon their convenience. And then that way I have their contact information, and it's not just a dead referral floating around. I can facilitate that relationship, because part of what we do as health coaches, and like we were talking about turning up or kicking it up into gear, is we have to be on fire for people's health. There's always a million reasons not to get healthy. We need to find the reasons and be on people to help them decide that it's the right time for them and stand up for their health goals. So those are some of the things I do. Facebook is a really easy way to connect people. Maybe encourage your client to send what's it called when you suggest what's that?
It's like a suggested friend request.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So just different ways to just get them connected with you. And that's the key, is connecting their world with you.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oops, I was going to go back here. And the last thing, and this is talking about laying the groundwork and the beyond, is when you do have a referral, this is Ashley's key note here, because you want referrals. I mean, you want to expand your business, but you're also looking for partners. And if people are getting healthy and they're having success and they know how to refer, then they're a health coach candidate. So the number one thing we like to say is, am I coaching them, or are you? And actually, real quick, Ashley, do you want to comment? That was kind of your main deal that you implemented a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really big at, if you know me, I'm really big on my File 4, and I love like health coach candidates. And so this was one of the easiest ways for me to introduce that health coaching is opportunity for them, and that I think that they'd be a great partner. And so, yeah, it's just really natural. They'll go, oh, my friend so-and-so wants more information. And be like, oh, no problem. So am I coaching them, or are you? And sometimes they're taken aback, like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, I mean, they're your friend. Like, you know how to do the program. You're doing amazing. Do you want to coach them? They're like, I didn't even know that was an option. Even though I've probably talked about it, now it's real to them. And they're like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm like, well, you clearly know how to talk to people, and you're clearly setting a great example, and I would be happy to partner with you. So, they probably want to work with you. Does that sound like something you'd want to do? Sometimes they'll go, I am not quite ready, and I think I need to get a little further. And I'm like, no problem. And then I just connect with the person. But doesn't mean I just stopped with that offer. I had somebody offer 8 referrals before they finally said yes. I did not stop at the first, no. Either way, you are starting a client. So, it's all good. But yeah, that's probably been one of the most successful ways that I've sponsored.
Ashley, I have a quick question, or for Brad. The book that you guys read and recommend has been prolific in our organization. What's that book that helped teach you guys about follow-up, about consistency, about the number, just brought it home for you? What's the name of that book?
Was it the 10X rule?
I believe it is. Well, who's that by?
Grant Cardone. Cardone. And yeah, it's just called the 10X rule. And I actually prefer the audiobook version because he reads his own book and he is fire. He's a lot of animation. So yeah, it's amazing. I used to just put it on in my ears and go to the gym and work out. And that was actually what built I don't want to say the confidence, but triggered for when we went our presidential run, when we went to presidential, that's the book. That's the voice that helped me figure it out.
Very cool. Thank you. That's an effective tool for people to use, just like reprogramming ourselves to remember that if we're going to take the action, we better be willing to pay the price to follow up. And I think that book is a really good reminder for that. And I honestly, I've heard about it, but I haven't read it. So now that you mentioned it being on audio, I'm all over it. So
it's so good. And it teaches you not to set, like, really what it talks about is people have the tendency to, if you see a goal, and we come from corporate America does this, is you see a goal and it's like you're approaching the deadline. You're like, I don't know if we're going to hit the goal, team. And so you lower the goal to make yourself hit it versus keep your goal where it's at and then increase your action to reach it. Why are you scooting down a goal? Like, that defeats the purpose. And so he talks all about that. Is 10x means 10 times your action to reach what your goal is.
Very cool. Thank you.
And Whitney, great suggestion, because I couldn't recommend a better book for this level of growing in your business, because it just expands your mind to something that we're not used to. Because most people that are coaching and getting started and are at this level have probably not done something in this industry before. And that book is actually perfect. I couldn't recommend a better book at this level.
Thank you, Brad.
Perfect. So that's basically, I mean, I'd love to go into more details, but there's really not more details than that. That's, the beyond comes when you start to duplicate yourself. We started to hit on that, but that's basically the basics of what to be doing at this level and how to expand your level and where to be spending your time and the pace to be connecting with people and some of the little tidbits that'll help move that along. Another tidbit that we had to move this along right now is home office just released this amazing incentive. So literally, if you're at this level right now, you have extra incentive to just go out and be taking action right now. So they went over on the leadership call. It's also on Coach Connection, but essentially for starting 5 clients a month, each month over the next few months, you're going to get an extra $100 bonus. If you do it 3 months in a row in December, you'll actually get your certification free or reimbursed if you get certified over those months. You go even more 10x action. For those that haven't read the book, you'll know what that means when you read it, is you start 25 clients by the end of the year, you actually get $1,000 bonus. So I've never been incentivized this much to be able to grow your business to the next level. And really, the really exciting part about this is most of you guys are probably pretty new if you're at this level that we're actually speaking to right now. Your work, your harvest of the new year, people want to get healthy in the new year. Your business expands quite a bit in January, February, March, and April. And really, this is the seed planting time. Not only will a lot of people want to get healthy through the holidays, and your best ones will, and let me give you a little hint, they're health coach candidates if they want to get healthy through the holidays. That means they're driven. But there's plenty of people that want to do that. For the people that wait, the harvest time is the new year. So be on purpose now. This is a great incentive to take advantage of, and it actually lays the foundation work for the beyond that we were talking about if you go ED before the new year's up or right as the new year's starting. So Greg, did you want to speak anything to that incentive?
Well, I love the fact that it's completely integrated with our Cancun trip. I mean, the points that you would get to earn this would almost guarantee somebody qualifying. I mean, they might have to do 1 or 2 extra points, but this is really a fast track to not only set yourself up for a phenomenal new year, like you said, but also because we have the challenge starting in January. So if they say, yeah, I'm going to wait till January, great. We'll get you started in January with the challenge. Let's get your order in December so you can start the ground running January 1st. And the other thing that this is great about is that we do know the 80-20 rule, 1 out of 5. So if you talk to, for example, if somebody said you're going to get $10,000 if you talk to 200 people this month in 30 days, regardless of whether they said yes or not, but you knew that you're going to tell your story and share your story with 200 people this month. That would be like Whitney when she started. She went out and did 20 to 25 a day. That was her first 6 months with 25 people a day. But if you did that, not to say that you will, but if you did, what would happen is you would plant so many seeds and brand yourself with so many people that even if they weren't ready at the beginning of the, because 4 out of 5 won't be statistically, but the 4 out of 5, 2 of those 5 will probably be ready in January. So you would be setting yourself up for a phenomenal new year. And also, one of the questions that came up here on the chat, which I think is because we do want to focus on follow-up. We do want to use the 10X rule book. We want to get that mindset going that we're professionals and that people have a busy life and things change from week to week, month to month. I mean, you know, everyone has difficulty. They're going through a move. They're going for a change, a job, a change. They're going through a child sickness. They're going, you know, there all kinds of things happen when people really are interested. And this is unique in our business. A lot of times when people say, yeah, no, thanks, I'm not interested right now, call me back later, they don't mean call me back later. They mean I'm not interested. But in this business, they usually mean call me back later. They want to hear you, and they're glad to hear from you. So one of the questions was, how do you stay persistent with the follow-up without being overly aggressive or turning someone off?
Did you want me to speak to that?
Either you or Ashley, whoever wants to take it.
I'll chime in first, but I loved Ashley's point on it too. Is one, having a follow-up day is just key. Besides doing the touches to move your business, that's a recommendation, a pace that I can encourage you to operate at, because 10 things a day is not going to take you hardly any time at all. But having one day a week, you know, where you segment, you time block some time to make sure you go through your list and follow up. And it could be anything. And I actually like the, blaming me scenario, where I just want to say, hey, I just wanted to follow up with you. I know we chatted a little bit ago, and I realized it's been a little bit since we connected, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't dropping the ball on getting information to you. That's one that I really like. And also it's good to make a note of their goals, because then you can just touch base on their goals. Like, hey, are you ready to get started on those? Also, TSFL has given us a huge gift. Do you know how easy it is to talk to people now that we have a challenge? I mean, it opens up so many conversations. That's something that goes on year round. So you can get them on the front end before, you can get them right before they start. You can get it before registration close, and you can get it after the challenge is up, which is saying, hey, we just had this many people be successful on plan. This was our average weight loss, and I just made me initially think of you. I didn't know if this was a good time, because we can do this for you over the next 6 weeks, et cetera, et cetera. So just getting creative with your reach outs and your posturing, doing something different every time. Ashley, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, definitely what you said is great. Getting creative on the follow-ups. I can't tell you how much of an impact it's been to get just creative on the different types of layering. So we send a weekly newsletter. And everybody goes into it. Some people get confused and think that we send our newsletter to only client, like actual, on program clients. We send it, if I have your email, you're on my newsletter, like everybody. So that's one way of layering. Showing up to everything we're invited to. Like, for instance, we went to this wedding that we definitely would have gone to, anyway, but I was very on purpose at this wedding. Two of the bridesmaids had looked amazing because of our program, and the bride was kind of starting her journey through it, so she was looking good. And so, of course, and we were just being friends and being friendly and having fun. But in less than a week, I think 3 of those people from the table we sat at hit us up. These are people who've done program years ago or had ordered, or however you want to say it. And all of a sudden it was the right time for them. It had nothing to do with, I wasn't badgering them, but I wasn't hiding what I do. I'm just so proud of what I do. The other thing is, there is nothing more frustrating to me than somebody who doesn't follow back up with me from the professional world. Like, nothing could be more frustrating to me. If I call and leave a voicemail because I'm interested in a hair appointment and that person doesn't call me back or doesn't follow up with me a couple times because I'm so busy, I get so frustrated. So I put myself in the opposite position of how would I feel, and if nobody was calling me or not following up with me or reminding me, that drives me nuts. So try to picture from their example, not with red light thinking where, oh, you're being too pushy. It's like they're going to consider you to be like a really passionate professional.
And do you guys offer any kind of cash on account referral incentives?
We personally do. We've always stuck with $25 cash on accounts. If I feel like I'm in a lull, like maybe once a year, maybe twice a year, it kind of depends on the season for us and what our personal goals are, I might kick it up to like 40 to teach how to refer and get it in our clients' minds more. and just like, it's just that little bit extra to have a platform to bring it up and teach it a little more widespread, but it's not like our go-to, incentivizing with it all the time. But I'm always consistent with 25.
Can I make a point to that? Because financially, just because we know what our commissions are, is that where you're at in your game as far as where you're at in the graduation process to executive director, in my opinion, because I'm very frugal, I think it makes sense to start at a lower amount and then work your way up. Even thank you cards, like Ashley was saying, just that customer service of saying, thank you so much for referring your friend, and sending them their favorite bar with a little note. Don't you think, Ashley, people would appreciate that? I mean, maybe money would speak if they needed the discount, but in some cases it's just as helpful and to keep yourself in front of them as just to send a note and a card and maybe their favorite meal. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, I don't think it's the cash. I don't think it's the money that does the trick. I think it's the fact that it's more effective if we are consistent in bringing it up or saying thank you or whatever. It's like it all falls back personally, I think, on us bringing it up on the front end, being consistent on asking if anyone's noticing, and then showing gratitude after. I've never seen any magic trick with 25. It's like you said, a thank you note, I think, could go even further personally.
Like senior coaches or people building their business. I just wanted to clarify that piece.
Oh yeah, definitely. And ultimately, maybe you aren't even, maybe that 25 or whatever you're doing, maybe is just going towards a coaching kit. So that's okay too. That's great. But I was actually just thinking about your background too, coming from, Nordstrom, for example. They're amazing at keeping my contact information. Nordstrom is on calling me when the semi-annual sale's coming and following up with me and checking how my fitting went and da-da-da. And I'm so appreciative. And guess where I keep going back to, and guess where I'm loyal to, is the people that care. So I think just like paying attention to the things that make you feel good and duplicating that.
Awesome. Thank you. Brad, you want to finish the next couple of slides? What's next on the list?
We got a couple of questions, Greg. Don't miss those questions.
Okay. Yeah, there was one question that I thought was a good one, and it has to do with this client support. And it was, do you do Zooms with your own clients when you're at the director and ED director, executive director levels?
We do Zooms. You want to say that again?
Do you do Zoom client calls or Zoom calls, like for coaching calls with your clients when you're at the executive director and executive director level? I don't know what the level has to do with it, but do you do Zoom calls with your clients?
We don't personally, but I wouldn't be above doing that. I actually have to, just since we're sharing different things at work, I have to brag on Dan Rawmakers, who was on the line, who just followed the exact same things we did out here and just rocked out 7,200 in frontline volume, jumping from a senior coach level in 1 month. He has been doing the platform of the challenge and huddle calls, but he's going to keep it ongoing. So he actually sets up his client celebration day to be Saturday mornings, where he hosts the huddle before he sets up his client celebration calls. So he actually has like a huddle with his team, with all of his clients. They can join in and talk about a topic, and then he sets up a call with them. That's when he does his celebration calls. So we don't personally, but that's a cool idea that's working for someone on our team.
Awesome. Let me share something. Where I'm using Zoom mostly is with health coach candidates when I'm doing the health coach candidate interview, or if I'm doing a 3-way call with a new coach who's just getting started with learning how to present the program. So one of my coaches who is in Kentucky, she's in the process of moving, and she's got a big family, and there's a lot of stuff going on. And one of her new coaches is on fire, and she hit manager her first month. And she was so excited, and she said, I'm going to be really slow, but I'm going to be really steady. But actually, her steadiness in her first month got her all the way to manager. And following the 5-in-1, what we noticed is as I was coaching her on doing her first couple of client presentations on Zoom, she became very comfortable with Zoom and doing the face-to-face. And so what she's been doing after her first month, she asked a lot of her clients, how are you doing? And they started referring. And one of them said, yeah, I'm kind of interested in becoming a coach. You mentioned that. And so she's setting up a Zoom with me, and we're going to do the 3-way call. We're going to go through the health coach brochure and to do the interview form. So I think the Zoom can be very good. It can be like a group support thing. I'm doing those for the challenge as well. I'm doing the Zoom huddles for my clients. I even do them with 3-way calls for new potential clients. And also I especially use them when it comes to a new health coach getting started. That's where I find them the most valuable.
Can I say one thing about that? My experience, while I like the Zoom calls, like you said, Greg, for coaching, and I'd be curious to know how Dan does it, they tend to go longer. When I'm doing a Zoom, I tend to be on the phone with them longer, and it's stickier. I like to be able to get in and get out, frame it up. I got 5 minutes. I got another call I got to make after we're done chatting, but I wanted to call you for your 5-minute check-in. So that's a lot easier for me. I don't know if it's because when I see people, I want to be there more for them, but I've had a little bit of challenges getting off the phone in 5 minutes with my Zoom people. Maybe a group call would be a better idea. Anyways.
And I agree with client support calls. They're usually 5 or 10 minutes, and people are going to be more convenient. You can catch them on their phone anywhere, pretty much any time. Where Zoom, you got to be in front of a computer with internet, with a camera. So it is a logistical thing, but it's a good question. I think there's a place for it, but I think, like you're saying, Bradley, it's kind of you got to use your best judgment.
Yeah, we don't use them for ours, but I can see the fit. But I would have concurred with Whitney on everything, plus the duplication factor.
Yep. All right. Well, I think we covered everything that you wanted to cover as far as helping us see the vision and see the path. I thank you so much. All the questions that people have posted, we've answered. And I want to let you and Ashley go and relax, and so you can rub her tummy and give her some love for she's coming down the home stretch. How many more weeks, Ashley?
About little less than 7.
7 weeks. We can't wait to have another Miller join the Habits of Health crew, and we can't thank you enough for everything that you and Brad do to help us grow our company. And again, everyone, thanks for joining. Was this fun, you guys? Give us a thumbs up if this was awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks again. We're going to do another call like this next week, and I'll be leading the call on time management. And Brad and Ashley have been working on that with their group. And so we're going to collaborate and have a joint team training a week from today. And I think we're starting a little bit later, right, Brad?
Yeah. Did we pick out 8:30? As long as we can adjust the time, but we throw out 8:30. That's what we've been consistently doing.
I think we chose 8 so we could have a full hour. So it's going to be at 8 p.m. Pacific. Tonight was 6 p.m. Pacific. And we'll be posting it on our website, so you guys will find out about it. And I'm sure Brad and Ashley will get the lead out as well.
Greg, what's the date?
A week from tonight.
So it's the 22nd of October, and it starts at 8 p.m. Pacific time. So those of you in Central and Eastern, keep that in mind, please.
All right. Awesome, you guys. Thanks again, Brad and Ashley, and everyone. See you at the next event, and have a great weekend.
Thank you guys so much. That was fun.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.